Welcome back, Gaming for XP, and we're taking our inspiration from this Prospector Saloon at Goodsprings. Let's get building. So you would have seen by the introduction I had a great idea the other day. Given that we'd been building a Western style fort and I was in Goodsprings the other day, just happened to be in Goodsprings passing through, and it just made complete sense that I would build a Western style saloon similar to the Prospector here in Tenpines Bluff. Makes sense. And in actual fact, the residents, since I've built this, the residents are using it like you wouldn't believe. So wanted the building to fit in with the settlement, but at the same time look different and have that identity of a Western style saloon. And so I spent some time looking online for the kind of look that would fit here, and hopefully what I come up with is true to what you would expect to see in the Wild West back in the day. So we're going to use a combination of these kind of log cabin walls together with various wood parts to sell this. And by the way, that door that's just sitting in the middle of nowhere, yeah, I was going to use that, but in the end I don't, and you'll see there's a very good reason why I don't use it, but I'll leave that surprise for you to have a look at a little bit later. Now, one of the things that I suddenly realised is that I can't get a veranda on here, so I have to use these half pieces. So I'll move the door around a bit before I delete it. So pretty simple stuff. You've seen me do this a few times now with these shack pieces from Cabin in the Woods. Pretty simple. And I guess that's the other thing. It can be a bit of a challenge to use these pieces, but then make buildings look slightly different and have a different identity. But yeah, we get there. It takes a while for me to figure out. Now this is why I don't use the door. See, doesn't fit. It's too big. It's too big. Door comes from the second. There's two styles of cabins in Cabin in the Woods, and that comes from the second one. So obviously the doorways are slightly larger than the second cabin. So that's going now. So we'll stop talking about it. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to work on the upper floor now. So we're just getting this piece of floor in place. I have to do the trick where we have to snap it on the wall on one side so it'll snap correctly on the other. There we go. I do end up changing this slightly in the final build, but not too much. So I think this, this mod's great. It just has so much going for it. These stairs fit perfectly, and that's the other thing. A lot of the time, it doesn't. Things don't fit perfectly. You can't find the right stairs, or blah blah blah. But in this build, it's pretty straightforward. So just have a look at the floors available, and we'll stick those in for now. I do try a couple of configurations of the floor before I get this absolutely correct, and because it's actually an odd shape, the building itself is an odd shape the way I've built it. It does cause me a few problems, but I managed to come up with a solution, pretty good solution for it. So I hope you're enjoying this Tenpines Bluff build. I probably in reality have either one more build that I'm going to show you from this settlement, or I'll just go straight to the tour. I haven't decided yet, but this is probably the last thing one of the last things I'm going to show you that I built. I probably have a bit of decoration still to go, but apart from that, it's pretty much completed, and these are just videos that happened during the build. So I'm having a bit of a drama just chucking these in, but that's alright. There we just persistence will win. Yeah, we can take those out now because they're not needed at the moment. And I think, as I said earlier, I like to see, I like, one of the challenges here was to try and combine a couple of different textures and a couple of different building materials, but still make it look as though it all fitted together. So here I'm just building, and it takes me a while to get this right, but I'm just building the top side of it to make it, to give it a different look. Here we go, we just put that in there. And I've cut out a lot of the mucking around it and this. It took me quite a while to get this right, but I think that what I was going for in the end actually works out very well. So we make this big tall structure, or facade if you like, and it really just fits in perfectly with some of the things that I looked at and researched and the kind of look I'm going for. So getting there very, very quickly. So we're going to put the posts in the front here. And I had an idea of what I wanted this to look like initially, and I end up scrapping it because it just doesn't work. Hence why you just saw it cut fairly quickly there. So the barn, what are we looking for? These railings. So these railings come, I think they're with the second cabin, but for this build they're perfect. They just look right. And so I was very lucky in this build because a lot of things kind of just fell into place for me that just fitted the overall look that I was going for. And you can see this just looks perfect. Now, one of the things that I did, ooh, nice bit of sunlight coming through those wooden panels, a little bit of atmosphere. One of the things that I'm still not sure of is whether I should make that area up above accessible. I end up not doing it in this build, but it would make a nice little platform for people to sit up there. Not sure if there's enough room actually because it's only a single side, but there we go. We're starting to get there very quickly. So I think we might work on the upstairs now. So I get rid of all these, they're not quite working for me. And now I'm trying to figure out what we need to put in here, and I go back to the stock standard vanilla floors because it works perfectly for what I want to do. So you can see the front of the building is actually 2.5 wide, and that's one of the challenges when I was building the floors up here. That was one of the challenges for me to try and get this to work. But what I come up with I'm pretty pleased with. So no idea why it does that, but it does that. You know, the long one won't gain, but the individual one will. So we're starting to work it out here. And what I want to do, what I come up with is a little viewing area up in here. And the idea upstairs, I thought upstairs could be the bartender's residence, or the saloon owner's residence. So this is what I'm going for up here. A lot of mucking around and a lot of pieces, trying to get pieces in place, but we get there. As you know, in building in Fallout, persistence is key for you. Don't give up, just keep going. There we go, that fits in there. And we'll put the floor in, come up. That's how you do it. So we're doing well. Everything as far as the content is going is good. I'm trying a few new things on the channel, as you might have noticed, and they seem to be doing well. I've just started in it. Sorry, I'm going on about it a scoring times, but I do love my Fallout New Vegas, and I started a game of New Vegas recently, as some of you would know, and it's just so good, man. But it has given me so many ideas, and actually starting to appreciate Fallout 4 a lot more, because I can see a lot of the things that are in Fallout New Vegas are actually being included in Fallout 4. a lot of the items and stuff, and so now I'm getting a much deeper appreciation of where a lot of the influences came for this game, and how I like how Bethesda has stayed true to the series, and it has continued to add pieces into the Fallout 4 that would have been added previously with other games. So it's great to see, and I didn't quite get that to start with. Now the issue I have here is with the door, so I have to completely rearrange this area up here, take everything down and move the door across to there, and then completely reconfigure that bit up there and make it wider. There we go, so that you can actually physically get into the place, and then re-establish some of the walls up here. But that's okay, there's no dramas, not a major issue. There we go, so I've just speeded things up because this is just pretty much rinse and repeat for what I've already done. We're getting there. One of the issues I had was I tried to put a door in there. In the end, what I end up doing is the door's here where we are now, and so I just leave this as an open area, and it solves that problem. We'll put that in there. There we go. Another wall in there, and then I'll leave that nothing in there. So doing okay so far. And I'm going to put a step there. You see there's a gap, so that works all nicely there. It all works in. Everything just falls into place here. It's good. That, as you know, it doesn't normally happen with my builds. There's usually at least one drama. So I have all these builds already recorded, and I think I said in a previous video that I was going to stop recording because I had so much content ready to go, and I really needed to work on getting that content finished and up onto the channel. Not true. I'm just continuing to come up with idea after idea and build and make more build videos. So I guess I've got a building problem or something. The game is very much like that, as you know. I'm sure most of you are aware. I guess if you're watching these videos, you're looking for ideas, so you're well aware. So we just get the last little roof piece in. There's some logs here included with the pack that we chuck in here, just to block up the gaps here. They actually work very well. I might actually have to take that barbed wire off, so that fits. You're not gonna notice it, so that'll fit just in that gap there. And this one, so the smaller logs and larger logs should fit in there nicely. So you can also use these, and that's exactly what they're there for. They're actually there to block those pieces in. There we go. Pull that wall up a little bit. Yep. So just working, I think this is about the last little bit that I do, and then I do a bit of decoration, and we're right, there we go. See, the log fits straight in there once I've done that, and we just need to find somewhere to lay this down so we can put it in place. There we go. I don't know why that clips to there, but it does, so it's good. So everything's good and nice and secure. There we go. Moon's out. Night time in Tenpines, so have a little bit of a sleep and continue on. So I'm going to show you a little bit of decoration here, and then we'll do the final tour. I've added these little hitching posts from the Nuka World DLC. You see right at the front, and they make a lot of sense. They would just fit right in. And I'll show you this quite unique bar that we use from Thematic and Practical, because it gives it quite a different look. And I wanted a different look here. I wanted it to look as though it and a lot of the settlements like that, apart from the cabin look, there's a lot of settlements that are like this, the pieces that are like this that are look homemade, and that was the kind of look I'm going for. Now there's some kind of issue as you might notice there's some kind of issue. I don't know why they think there are crops there, but that person thinks there are crops there, so I think it's got to do with what I've built on top of. Anyway, once we put somebody in, a bartender in, it seems to solve the problem, so it was just one of those weird things. Funny enough, there's been a lot of kind of strange occurrences at Tenpines, and I've recorded a fair few of them. I might put a montage together because some of them are just hilarious. One of the ideas that I had was to have the kind of those tables for playing cards and stuff, but I end up not going. I just go with these ones. Put a couple of tables in here. There's not a lot of room downstairs, but that's perfect because excuse me, I didn't want a lot of room in here. I wanted it to be fairly compact, nice little tight environment, so that the settlers can just come in here and chill out. And I think wooden chairs definitely fit with the theme. Just be aware that when you're doing that, you give there enough room for the settlers to get in there, and there's enough pathing room. Otherwise, they either won't use them or they'll get stuck in there, and yeah, it just causes issues. So you need to just leave a reasonable amount of space for them to do that. Okay, we're looking okay. All good. What next? I guess we've got to give it a name. I don't actually I just give it a generic name here. But yep, just use these. The neon works very well, and actually use some other elements to frame it, which just work so well. So let's see how my spelling is. See if I was paying attention in class. If I get it wrong, it could be a barber's or a hairdresser's. So anyway, not to worry. Nothing against hairdressers, by the way. There we go. Saloon. Cool. I guess, guys, I put it out there. If you want to give the saloon a name, you know, the one at Goodsprings is called the Prospector, let me know. Give me some suggestions what we could call it. Obviously I'll hook that up to the power and you'll be able to see that. So put a wee generator in. So I'll just put the power in. And this is actually, I've left this in because I'll show you how this how to wire glitch. I think I've done it a few times, but it doesn't hurt. So I've put a pylon on, I've put a little conduit in, and then I'm going to go across here and put one on the ground. Very important that you put it on the ground, and I'll show you why in a second for this trick to work. So get behind the wire and get as close to the conduit as possible. Select the wire and then run across to the other conduit, and what it will do is it will feed underground, and that's why I put them on the ground. Click. There we go, and it means that the power line will run a lot further than it would normally run. There we go. Connect that up, conduit on the side, and it should be done. Nice little trick if you want to, rather than be running poles and wires everywhere. But the key is just to have one underneath and then connect it up. Sorry, the key is to have one on the ground and then connect it up. So we got power. So we're finished build. You can see I've put some neons under the saloon name. I've added my favourite lanterns in. There's a little bit of a power wheel at the back there. Let's go in and just have a look. You can see those hitching rails from the Nuka-Cola DLC gouch, dry gouch, I think it is, or whatever it is. Oh, hello, how are you? Just a whole lot of just very subtle things in here that I've not put too much clutter in here. these lanterns and obviously candles that I've used for lighting. There's no real electricity in here as such, and I think it all fits with what we're trying to achieve. Go upstairs. The only design flaw is this door. You have to actually come in and shut the door. You can't actually get through that gap unless you do that. So that you can see a nice little viewing platform up here, and the owner's room, little residence. I need to do a little bit more decoration in here, but yeah, pretty good. Pretty pleased with this. The overall look is great. Nah, watch, I can't get through, see? So I've got to close the door again, or jump over, and off we go. So we'll close the door. There we go. So guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Leave some comments if you like, and likes, subscribe, whatever, and you can catch me on Twitter. So I'll catch you next time.